Hi guys, what the hell is wrong with these people? So there's a group within the Tory party called the New Conservative Group, which wants to make life more difficult, not easier, for the care sector. They are advocating for fewer, not more visas to be issued to care homes in order to force people who are currently on benefits to take up the work instead. Miriam Cates, one of the Tory MPs in this group, was interviewed on the Today programme where she refused to answer a number of questions and almost asked the journalist about her own plan. Insanity.
There are residential care homes, and I've seen it for myself in the southwest, which simply would not be able to say to hospitals, we are ready, we have the beds, you can discharge people, if they weren't recruiting from overseas. There's another care home we spoke to recently in Norfolk, which said without India, we wouldn't be here, we being the residential care home, and without us, the hospital would have bed blocking.
But we have 5 million people economically inactive in this country.
But they don't want to work in care. So who does those jobs?
Who want to work? Well, they're not going to want to work in care until we make the paying conditions good enough. And the only way we're going to do that is to cut off the supply of cheap labour from abroad.
What should the hourly rate? Let me ask you, if it's about pay, what should the hourly rate of a worker in a residential care home be?
The analogy of during the pandemic when we had an HGV driver shortage, and lots of people called then to say we must issue more visas to abroad to get more drivers, but we didn't. We made supply side reforms.
So
like
what would you pay a carer per hour?
Just let me finish because this is a really important analogy.
No, it's a stupid analogy. Because when it came to HGV drivers, because of Brexit, and she was talking here about the pandemic, it's not really about the pandemic, it's about Brexit. What happened? Well, it became more difficult for UK drivers to operate in the EU, because freedom of movement ended, and it was more difficult for EU companies to operate in Britain because of the delays at the ports. It wasn't worthwhile sending goods to Britain and coming back with an empty truck and waiting for hours at the port. So yes, what happened was, you reduced the amount of traffic, so you needed fewer drivers, and also the changing of the rules when it came to passing an exam. They removed the requirement to reverse a truck. So yes, you did resolve the problem by making the exams easier and reducing the flow of traffic.
We made these really important changes, and guess what? Haulage firms put up their wages. They attracted more workers. It solved the problem without issuing visas to abroad. That's exactly the same economic and market principle that we need to apply.
So what should a care home pay?
I don't know, Michelle. It depends.
You haven't thought about it?
Well, what do you think we should pay?
No, that's not how it works, you idiot. Oh my God, how do these people become MPs? You're asked, you're presenting a stupid policy. You're asked, okay, explain this stupid policy to us. And you say, well, what we do is we just pay carers more money. Okay, how much should carers be paid? I don't know. How much do you think No, that's not how an interview works. You're the one who's presenting the stupid idea. You have to defend it. And if you're saying, well, we just pay carers more, then how much should they be paid? Ridiculous.
We could have an argument about what we should pay for all different sectors.
No, it's not an argument. You're presenting a stupid idea and you can't defend it. You went to, well, we just pay them more. Okay, then how much more? You haven't thought this through. This is just another racist, bigoted policy from the right wing within the Conservative Party.
But you would reduce health and care workers by half the numbers that currently come in from overseas.
I would reduce the number of visas available to make employers invest in this particular care worker scheme that we're proposing to end, that was introduced for the pandemic and has been massively extended again and again. We're proposing to shut that route so that employers look at recruiting local young people, skilling up people for a career in care work. And the thing is, we are never, ever going to make that possible unless we close the immigration route first.
Insanity. So carers, care homes and the care sector in general are crying out for labour. They can't find workers. So they're asking to bring people in from abroad who are already skilled. And the New Conservative Group want to cut that off and say, well, you just recruit people from the local community. We can't find people in the local community. Okay, then you need to train them up. Okay, well, who's going to pay for that? You have to pay for it. The company has to pay for it. We're not going to pay for it. So we're going to put you in a situation where we're going to cut off your supply to labour. We're going to force you to take on people who are not trained, and you're going to have to pay the expense of training them up. And of course, they're not going to be trained from day one. So you're going to have to spend money training them while you suffer a staff shortage. Why? Well, because we're the new Conservative group, and we're the racist, bigoted wing of the Conservative Party, which seems to be growing by the day. This is insane. It's about keeping, once again, racists and bigots happy. How do you respond to things like this? It doesn't make any sense. You have agriculture, which is struggling to get the workers it needs. The care sector, which is struggling to get the workers it needs. And if it doesn't have, as was pointed out by the journalist at the beginning, if they don't have the staff, then they're blocking patients being moved from hospital into care homes. People can't be moved if there isn't a bed available. If there isn't a bed available, it's because there isn't the staff for that bed. This is so easy to understand. But these people say, no, we just move people who are on benefits at the moment. 40% of people on benefits on universal credit are working already. But you want to move people who don't want to do the work, or can't do the work. You want to force them into doing that work. Now, would Miriam be happy with her parents or grandparents, I don't know, in a care home being looked after by somebody who didn't want to be there, who was forced to be doing that job? I don't think so. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.